Welcome to this podcast from IS Services. In this podcast, we will see how to define a site in Dreamweaver. This is the first step that you must perform before you can start using Dreamweaver to maintain a college website. As part of the site definition process, you will have to tell Dreamweaver what folder you want to use on your computer to store the website files in. To that end, if you have not already done so, you must create a folder somewhere on your computer before then telling Dreamweaver where that folder is. In this case, I'm going to create a new folder on the D drive of this computer. I'm going to call it Astronomy, as that is the name of the website that I'm going to define in Dreamweaver. I can now close this window and launch Dreamweaver. If you launch Dreamweaver for the first time, the likelihood is you will see nothing on the right hand side except the default list of locations on your computer. Once you have defined your site and downloaded the site files and folders, that is what will appear here under Local Files. Before we can see any of that information, we must define the site. We can do so by going to Site and Manage Sites. In this case, there are no sites yet defined. Note that it is possible to define multiple sites should you be responsible for updating more than one website. To define a site, we can choose New, Site. The site definition box appears. Sometimes what may be visible initially will be the Basic tab. For us, it is best to use the Advanced tab. We are going to deal with two areas in this window: Local Info and Remote Info. On the Local Info page, we will first give the name of the site, Astronomy in this case. The next item we need to define is the local root folder. We do that by clicking on the folder icon and then browsing to the folder that we've created. In my case again, it was on the D drive. I'll choose Computer, D, and there's that Astronomy folder that I created earlier on. I can now select that. These are the only details we need to enter for local info. Before proceeding, just double check that the site name and the local root folder entries are correct. Now we can choose Remote Info on the left. For access, we must choose FTP. The FTP host is www.tcd.ie. This would be different if you were dealing with a web server which is not the college web server. For host directory, all locations on the college web server will start with a single / and then www.tcd.ie and another /. What comes after this point depends on the website that you're working with. For the Astronomy site, I need to put in Astronomy, and it is case sensitive. If you are not sure what to enter for host directory, one guide is to browse to the website in question in your web browser. If you see the address beginning with www.tcd.ie and then a /, it is usually the folder name that appears after that which you will need to enter here. There are exceptions to this, and if you need help determining your host directory, please contact the IS Services Help Desk. For login, enter your college username, and for password, enter your web author password. This password, if you have not used it before, will be your original college password. However, if you have used it before, you should enter it here now. It may be different to your network login password. Now check the box that says Use Secure FTP. All data transferred to the web server is encrypted. Once we have entered the remote info, click on Test. This tests whether the location in the host directory exists and whether your password is correct. You will get a successful message if these details are correct. If you get an error, you need to check your host directory and your password once more. Again, if you need assistance with these items, you will need to call the IS Services Help Desk. Now that we've entered the remote info, that completes the site definition. Click on OK. We will now see an entry for the site that we defined in the Manage Sites dialog box. We can now click Done. On the right hand side, we now see the new site listed. It says Site Astronomy in this case. Should any details change, such as my password, my web author password, you need to go into Site, Manage Sites, and edit the appropriate site to enter the new details. Once you have defined your site, you need to download the files and folders for that website. The easiest way to do so is to simply click on the site folder name and click on this green downward pointing arrow. We will get this message: are you sure you wish to get the entire site? This will retrieve all files and folders from the web server, so we will click OK. It proceeds to download all the files and folders for this website. If we get any messages such as this one, we can just click Yes to all. If you get a message which asks, do you wish to get dependent files, you should click No to this message. Now we can see that all the files and folders have been downloaded and appear on the right hand side. Once this step is complete, you are now able to edit any existing web page files. This will be covered in a subsequent podcast. Many thanks for your attention.